Hello everybody and greetings from the Delta College Planetarium. My name is Brian and I'm here to bring you a guide to finding the constellations of the summer sky visible from Bay City, Michigan. This video assumes that you already know how to find the northern circumpolar constellations, like the Big and Little Dippers, and that you know how to find some spring constellations like Boötes and Virgo. We'll be using these to help set up our summer sky. Our sky is set for midnight on July 15th. The summer sky, like the spring sky, is basically divided into two regions, the Zodiac and the Summer Triangle. We'll start with the Zodiac because it's the simpler of the two. The Zodiac is the set of constellations through which the planets appear to move. The constellations straddle the path the sun appears to take through the background stars, a line called the ecliptic. From the spring sky, Leo and Virgo sit on this line, so we continue following that path to the east of Virgo. The first constellation we come to is relatively dim. I usually recognize it by spotting this tall, narrow triangle. This is Libra, the scales, or balance. It has a triangle on top and two lines drop down to the pans on the scales. Continuing to the left along the ecliptic, we run into this curve of stars, almost like a bow. And behind, there's a great hook of stars. This is Scorpius, the scorpion. The bow makes the scorpion's head and claws, and the hook forms the body and tail. The brightest star in Scorpius is an important one. This is Antares. Antares is a bright red-orange star. The name Antares can be broken down into Ant and Aries, which translates to the rival of Ares. Ares being the Greek name for the Roman god Mars. So Antares is the rival of Mars in the night sky. That's because Antares is about the same brightness and color one can normally expect to see from the planet Mars. And because Scorpius is in the Zodiac, Mars regularly passes Antares over the years, and it can be possible to confuse the two. Moving further to the east, there's one more constellation in the summer zodiac. Beyond the tail of the scorpion, there sits a group of bright stars. This group looks a little like something you might find in a kitchen. They look like a teapot. This trapezoid makes the body, the triangle on top for the lid. On the right, there's a spout, and on the left, this curve is the handle. These stars are regularly called the teapot, but they're just a small portion of Sagittarius, the archer. Sagittarius is supposed to be a person with a bow and arrow, but he can be hard to see because he's not human. Sagittarius is a centaur, half human, half horse. The teapot makes up the archer's bow, arrow, and hands. The rest of Sagittarius can be hard to find because it's generally made of dimmer stars, in a dense part of the night sky, low to the horizon, and some of them even dip below the horizon from Michigan. Those are the three zodiacal constellations for northern summer: Libra, Scorpius, and Sagittarius. We'll now turn our attention to the summer triangle. High in the sky overnight, in the summer, there are three bright stars. All three are very bright, and together they form a large, nearly isosceles triangle overhead. This is the summer triangle. Because all three stars are quite bright, they all have names. The brightest of the three is Vega. Vega is almost directly overhead after sunset in August. On the short leg from Vega is the star Deneb, and on the long leg is Altair. Each of these three stars is the brightest star in its own constellation. We'll start by looking at Vega, which sits in the constellation Lyra, the lyre. Some people say Lyra looks like a necktie or a goldfish. Lyra is made from this tiny triangle near Vega and this diamond shape of stars below. Deneb sits in a line of 4 stars, and another line cuts across that one at the second star. This is commonly called the Northern Cross because it kind of looks like a cross and is visible from the northern hemisphere. But this is really just a portion of the constellation Cygnus, the swan. Deneb is the swan's tail feathers. The swan's body follows to that second star where the swan's wings branch out to the sides, and the swan's long neck stretches into the middle of the summer triangle. A telescope will reveal that the star that marks the head of the swan is really two stars, and what is striking about them is their color. The yellow star is the nearer of the two, and is named Albireo A. The blue star is named Albireo B. It's not clear from measurements if Albireo A and B are a visual double, that is to say they just happen to line up in the sky, or if they are a binary star, that they are gravitationally bound to each other. Either way, given their proximity to each other, the color of each is more evident to the eye, and makes Albireo a popular target for amateur stargazers. The final star in the summer triangle, Altair, is part of the constellation Aquila, the eagle. Altair is the eagle's bright eye. The eagle's neck stretches down to the body, where the bird's wide wings branch off to either side. Aquila resembles an eagle about to strike from the sky. There are two additional distinctive constellations in this region of the sky. Almost directly between Albireo, the head of Cygnus, and Altair, the head of Aquila, is a small group of 4 stars that look a lot like an arrow. This is Sagitta, the arrow. Looking in the general direction of Sagitta's flight, we find a small diamond shape of stars, and a small line of stars that descends from one of the points. This is Delphinus, the dolphin. Delphinus and Sagitta round out the stars in the summer triangle. But looking back at the whole night sky, it's clear that there's a big hole in the middle of our picture, so let's fill that in. We need to find the star Arcturus. Arcturus is the brightest star in the constellation Boötes, which you can learn more about in our Spring Sky Guide. Imagine a line extending from Arcturus to Vega in the summer triangle. That line takes you through this trapezoid of stars. Because this shape resembles the keystone of a stone arch, it's called the keystone, and it forms the lower body of the constellation Hercules. Hercules is also supposed to be a person, but he's upside down and kneeling. His legs extend above, 1 foot on the ground, 1 knee on the ground, and below his body extends out to a point. 2 arms stretch out, one towards Lyra, and the other up to his head. In between Hercules and Scorpius, there's still this big hole, so we plug it with the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent holder. Ophiuchus is made of a lot of relatively dim stars. His head is near the head of Hercules. A large house shape of stars forms his body, 2 arms on either side and 2 legs below towards Scorpius. The right arm is holding a snake that goes back towards the body. Ophiuchus is holding the constellation Serpens, the serpent. The snake begins in a triangle of stars near Hercules' curved arm. It continues down and across the lower portion of Ophiuchus, and the tail turns up towards Aquila. Ophiuchus divides Serpens into Serpens caput, the head, and Serpens cauda, the tail. And that completes the constellations of the summer sky from Bay City, Michigan. We'll be able to see these constellations for quite some time as we head towards the fall, and the sun begins to set earlier in the day. So on a clear night, you should go out and try to walk through the summer constellations. This is Brian from the Delta College Planetarium, wishing you clear skies.